Mountain lions, pumas, catamounts, Florida panthers, and many more. All these nicknames are talking about the same enigmatic creature. Mountain lions are powerful predators that hunt across a huge range from Canada to the southernmost tip of Chile. But what makes them so adaptable in a changing world? That's what I hope to get to the bottom of it in this video. Before we get into all of that, we need to ask ourselves, what is a puma? At first it seems like a stupid question, as most people in the Americas know that regardless of the name, it's just another big cat. But as with all things, there are deeper nuances. Taxonomy and phylogeny help us understand evolution and the genetic relationships between organisms. And while pumas are big and they are cats, they are arguably not big cats. You see, semantically, big cats remember to the 5 living members of the genus Panthera. These are the tiger, lion, leopard, jaguar, and snow leopard. Pumas rest with all the other cats in the Felinae subfamily. This is determined both by anatomical and genetic clues. Cats in the Panthera genus have a flexible cartilaginous hyoid, allowing them to roar. Small cats, on the other hand, have a fully bone hyoid. This difference is important because it suggests to scientists that big cats and small cats have a difference in their anatomy. This indicates a phylogenetic difference. But in recent years, technology has advanced to the point where there's better ways to organize species through genetic analysis. DNA analysis has shown us that Panthera and Felinae are different. It's complex, but for our purposes, all you need to know is that scientists can look at the different animals' genetic information, and by comparing them to each other, they can organize that species into groups of how related they are. This, in conjunction with anatomical differences, creates a bulletproof argument for where living species lay on the phylogenetic tree. This is important for a couple reasons. One of those said reasons is that it shows that pumas are pretty unique cats. For example, for a small cat, they are rather large. In fact, they're even larger than 2 big cats, the leopard and the snow leopard. This is interesting because it's a new approach to normal cat strategy. Usually small cats rely on being mesopredators, as they can't get into the niche of bigger apex predators such as those of the Panthera genus. So taking these phylogenetic differences into account, why are pumas so widespread? I have a few theories. There isn't one answer about why pumas are so widespread, as there are many factors. For example, humans have been known to greatly reduce ranges of animals. Bison are a clear example of it. They also increase ranges of some animals, such as rats and cane toads. And with so many variables, it's hard to pinpoint a singular, definitive reason for why pumas are so widespread. But with all the facts I presented, we can make educated guesses. One factor that is probably a big reason is their ability to act both as an apex predator and a subordinate predator simultaneously. This means they excel at being a good dominant predator that doesn't overhunt its prey and a subordinate predator that can evade bigger, badder predators in their environment. This is important because in different areas, they will have different species, both prey and predator. And so by not specializing on one prey-predator or predator-predator relationship, they can adapt to almost any habitat with any species. Another thing that is perhaps more obvious is the fact that they are generalists that hunt big and small prey alike. This is due partly to the fact that they are cats and are known to be highly adaptable with the type of food they hunt. And perhaps, as a result of this, most cats have large ranges. But unlike their feline cousins, it is said pumas hunt the most species of any wild cat. I also believe their size is in the perfect range for something that lives from the cold Rocky Mountains all the way down to the hot Amazon. You see, being too small means you lose energy and heat quicker due to the square cube law. Basically, you lose heat through the surface area of your skin. It gets radiated as infrared, and this results in the loss of heat. But your volume gets bigger as a cube. In other words, the bigger you are, the less energy you need to stay warm. In proportion to your size, because you are radiating less energy in comparison to volume. If you can hunt larger prey, that means less time is spent hunting and relatively less energy is used. And going back to the fact that they are in the subfamily Felinae and not Panthera, it shows that their size is something that could have convergently evolved to be more adaptable to a wider range of environments. But being too big is a problem, as just because you need relatively less food, meaning you can go longer between meals, you still need overall more food to stay alive. This means bigger prey and less opportunities. I believe the puma hit the Goldilocks zone where it's able to live both in the tropics and cold because it's neither too big nor too small. It's big enough to live in cold climates but small enough to find food in tropical climates. Leopards, which have a similar size and niche, also have a huge range and share that range with a large number of different environments and species. Both cats live in temperate forests, rainforests, and grasslands. But something I alluded to before may be the biggest reason for their range. You see, most large cats had huge ranges in the past and were just killed and pushed back by humans. Yet pumas held on. I believe this is due to their role as an adaptable predator that has no problem with dealing with the number one apex predator on Earth, humans. And while they were wiped out of a lot of their North American range, mostly due to habitat degradation and loss, they hold on by working around the predominantly human world, something most predators just can't do.